So, what inspires you to create your paintings?
What inspires me, honestly, my mental health, to be honest. I know a lot of people's subject matter involves maybe the people around them or just even like other things, obviously. But mine is I like to focus on myself and kind of how I'm feeling and how to express that, because not only does it make interesting art, but it is a way to very therapeutic to myself. So for myself. um, Mentally, it's been a very up and down roller coaster ride in my life. I mean, I guess like like in high school, I was always a very anxious person. I knew like I had problems with anxiety. But I don't know, I guess I just thought it was normal to have like a little bit of anxiety. I guess I didn't notice how much anxiety I had. But I think it was my sophomore year of college that I had actually gone to like the mental health people at my university, because I thought I had ADHD, so I was getting ADHD tested, which I also have ADHD. But they're also like, yeah, you have ADHD, but you also have anxiety problems and depression. And at first I was like, depression? Like, no, like, that's false, because I mean, probably a lot of other people, I was always like, well, depression is just like you being sad and stuff like that all the time. And like, I never felt like I was sad, but I remember talking on the phone with my mom after I had gotten that diagnosis, and I was like, they say I have depression. And I was like, that is not true. And she was like, yeah, you like have depression. And I was like, how does everybody else know before me? And that's why I have Percy, because he's my emotional support animal. And I remember when I first got Percy, my mom was like, what do you like? What? I was like, he's gonna be my emotional support animal, and she was like, a guinea pig, and I was like, yeah, like any animal can be an emotional support animal, because I think she was thinking more like service animals. But he is really like helpful with my mental health too. Like, it's kind of nice to, like, if I'm sitting in bed all day, it's nice to be able to it's a push for me to be like, I gotta get up, Percy's gotta get up and run around, so it helps me get up and actually do things. And I don't know, he takes my mind off a lot of it, and just really, I don't know, he's my little dude, my little helper. I hung out with my mom. I actually hung out with my dad on that Saturday.
Mm.
He took me to like the hardware store because I had to get some stuff for my Metalsmith project. But it was nice to hang out with him, and we went out and got lunch, which was kind of awkward at first. Or not awkward, but like, I hadn't been out to a restaurant since quarantine started.
Mm.
And I was really nervous to go to go out, because I was like, I don't want to go to a restaurant. But there was literally no one in the restaurant when we went, which was good. We went to this Mexican restaurant. It was really nice.
How often do you see your dad?
I mean, when I was like in high school and stuff like that, before I went to college, I would like see him every Wednesday for like dinner, and then every other weekend I would go stay at his house. And then now I just kind of see my dad like whenever. Like when I go home, I primarily live with my mom, but like I go visit my dad and stuff like that. I mean, I see him as much as I guess that I can. Not that I don't like my dad, but I'm closer to my mom. So it's a little awkward sometimes if I have to go do things with my dad, because it's just like, I don't know what to talk to you about. But
That's because you grew up pretty much with your mom, right?
yeah. Plus my dad, he doesn't really know what to do with girls. Like him and my brother get along fine, because we'll talk about stuff, like they'll talk about electronics and stuff like that. And I'm just like, well, although I've noticed the older I get, I'm the only one that actually goes to the hardware store and stuff with my dad, which is kind of funny. Yeah, what else do you want to hear?
I mean, I'm already at like 15 minutes.
Mm,
Unless you have something extraordinary to tell.
extraordinary.
I mean, it doesn't have to be extraordinary, guys.
Nothing much. I'm trying to think. My weekend with Reese was really nice.
Oh yeah, what kind of movies did you watch? Also,
Well,
how long have you guys been together? That was a side note. You guys, I feel like
we've known each other for about a year now, and it will be our 1 year anniversary on December 31st.
and you guys have an open relationship, right?
We have an open relationship, so we don't date other people, we just have sex with other people.
Solid.
Which,
well, because you guys are emotionally like connected.
Yeah, I feel like Reese and I very much, I trust him a lot because he's in touch with his like emotions and feelings, so he knows how to express them, and so I know he's not hiding anything. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of people would be like, an open relationship, like that, what is that, blah 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 blah, and it's like, if I told people like, oh, like I allow my boyfriend to have sex with other people, they'd be like, what the fuck? But I mean,
yeah,
it's just kind of one of those things where it's like everybody else around you is not going to get it, but it's like you and that person. I trust Reese a lot to know that he's not gonna fall for someone else, and if he does, he'll tell me.
And then I guess you guys would go from there.
Mm-hmm. He came up to Green Bay in July. So this shit I have to deal with all the fucking time.
That sucks.
And also I have to deal with car alarms going off.
Like in the middle of the
garage.
Oh yeah.
In the middle of the night, which sucks. But yeah, him and my mom got to know each other more when he came in July, and they found they had like same type of music taste, which is like old 80s punk music. So they really bonded over that, and my mom was like, she was like, I really like him, he's a really nice guy, and he's really respectful to you. And she's like, that's, one thing that I really, obviously like about him. So it's like, I don't know. He hasn't even met my dad yet.
I mean, but you're not close with your dad, I
I'm
guess.
not super close with my dad, but it's kind of come down to like when he came up to Green Bay, my dad was away for the weekend camping.
Okay.
So it was like, yeah, the one time you first meet my boyfriend, you're like, all right, go camping, bye. So he hasn't met my dad yet, but not a big issue. I mean, my dad cares, but like I said, I don't think he knows what to talk about with his daughter's boyfriend. So that'll be something. So this is a swan, and this piece specifically, like this project specifically, we're talking about identity. And we brought up a lot of things about identity. We're talking about culture, and all the other aspects of what can be seen as identity. And for me, I don't have a strong kind of connection to my culture because I'm very Polish, but we don't celebrate any Polish traditions in my family. So I was kind of thinking of like my identity is I've kind of created my own identity. My whole life I've been blonde hair, blue eyed, and when I went to college, that's when I was finally able to kind of like step out and really kind of become myself. And the first thing that I did to kind of start that was getting this lip ring. And so what's going to be happening is there's going to be a piece of chain that hangs off of this brooch that connects to my lip ring, kind of bringing that sense of identity and creating my own identity. And I'm using this swan figurine because my grandmother a couple years ago, she gifted me this scarf that my grandfather had given her in the 50s. And it's about the Swan Lake Ballet. And one big shape and character in this scarf is the swan. And my grandma was a very big proponent for me to continue art and really embrace that. And so I'm kind of creating an homage to my grandmother to help that really help me sculpt this identity for myself. What I want to do after I graduate. I really would like to try applying for graduate school, specifically at the Chicago Art Institute, because there are some professors there that are actually like professional artists, like Jim Nutt, that I've looked up to from the Chicago Imagists, that I think would be really cool to have some classes with him. I also wouldn't mind trying to work for a professional studio. I'm not too sure how that would work out, but I'm gonna have to obviously learn more about it as closer I get to graduating. I mean, I could have all these plans, but they could all be subject to change. But for right now, that's really what I want to do is try graduate school first and see how that goes. My parents are very supportive of me going to art school because I've always really liked art ever since I was a little kid. I was very interested in art, so they've just kind of always been very supportive of that. A lot of times they don't really understand my paintings a lot, but they're always very supportive of them, and they're always really excited to see what I'm working on, so that's always nice. My art for me is my therapy. It's able to physically express how I'm feeling in that moment, and a lot of times it's something that kind of helps me take my mind off of what I'm feeling, and I don't know, it's been a really long journey